Welcome back to Toxic Waste of Time. I'm Katie.
And I'm Ivy. This week, we're talking about our relationships with our pets. And I got one whining right at my feet right now. This is a little bit more of a lighthearted episode. And, I think Katie probably just wanted an excuse to talk about her cats.
Duh. I'll take any excuse to talk about my cat. We're going to spin the wheel of weird relationships. Ivy, spin that wheel.
All right, Katie. What is your relationship to thunderstorms?
Oh, okay. I actually really love thunderstorms. I love the sound of it. Like, I'm a person who can fall asleep listening to, white noise of a thunderstorm. But I'm not sure if it's an entirely healthy relationship because the thunderstorm takes from me more than the love that I give the thunderstorm. I can appreciate a thunderstorm, but the thunderstorm usually knocks our power out. For some reason, when, our location where we're at, the infrastructure in our city just isn't there. I mean, yeah, it'll knock out the Wi-Fi if the power goes out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that means that my husband starts the day in a tizzy if he doesn't have internet. And, it just throws everything off. So, yeah, maybe the thunderstorms are not quite giving back to me what I'm giving to them. Yeah. How about you? What is your relationship to thunderstorms?
I love everything about thunderstorms. I love everything about weather in general.
Yeah.
I even love when the power goes out.
Really?
I find that I use the word romantic a lot, but I find it cozy. One time, I was in the shower. It was Halloween, and it was thunderstorming, and the power went out, and I was in the shower. And, yeah, that was terrifying, but my husband came in with a lantern, which was sweet. My daughter-in-law is terrified of thunderstorms.
Yeah.
She'll go to her grandparents' house or when they lived next door, she would either that or come over here if my son wasn't home because she is so terrified of them. I just love it. I love everything about it.
I think my cat used to have a pretty toxic relationship to thunderstorms. He was terrified of thunder and lightning, and now he's so old and deaf that I don't think it bothers him because he can't hear it as much. And he also is probably just my people are home, everything's fine. But it used to freak him out. He would run under the bed and hide.
Orion's dog, when she's here, Riley, when Riley's here, if there's a thunderstorm, and we weren't warned about this when she started staying here. We were never told that she would burrow her way under your pillow and make your life a living hell.
Oh, no.
During a thunderstorm. Yeah, I bought her a thunder shirt and some hemp treats, so it's calmed her down a little bit when we've had some thunderstorms, but that first one was awful.
Yeah. Well, since we're talking about our relationship to pets, tried to segue that in. All right. Well, right now I only have one cat because the other one has crossed the Rainbow Bridge. It was a few years ago. She was very special to me. She only had 3 feet, and she was the runt of the litter.
Was she born with 3 feet?
Yes. She was born with a little birth defect. She only had 3 feet. So she had, a leg, but it just kind of ended short.
Oh, that's kind of funny to me.
Yeah, she was very cute. But they were calling her Tiny Tim at the shelter because she had a little limp, And I adopted her, and I think she just, knew that I saved her, That's how I feel about shelter pets. I think that they just kind of know.
They do.
And my only other cat right now is a white, fluffy old man. He's like the Gandalf of cats, but he's dumb as a rock. He's the dumbest. He's so dumb.
I love a dumb cat.
He's so dumb. But he's sweet, and he loves us, He also just has this, really fine hair that gets everywhere, and it will be permanently forever, for years to come, we are going to find this cat
fabric,
hair.
Right?
It weaves into the fabric of your clothes. I have pulled it out of my teeth before.
Yes.
I've pulled it out of my eye before.
Orion's dog, this little whiner right here, her hair is kind of like that. It's super fine.
Well, he's such a pretty boy, and he's sweet, but he's 18 years old.
Good.
And he has 8 teeth now because we had to have a bunch of his teeth removed because he had that teeth, you know what I'm talking about. whatever. So they had to take his teeth out, and now he kind of has one tooth that like sticks up because it doesn't fit right in his mouth and kind of looks like Billy Idol.
Yeah.
You know?
My ex-daughter-in-law has a cat, and he had to have they called it his snaggletooth. It did the same thing because he got attacked by like a raccoon before she adopted
Oh gosh.
it. Yeah. So he had this little snaggletooth, and when they took it out, because they had to take it out with his dental, they were like, do you want the snaggletooth? Because we kept it for you. And she was like, yeah, I want it.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
He's so sweet and old and has very few teeth now. So the vet just told him we should give him whatever he wants.
I love it.
Quoting the vet, give him whatever he wants.
I love that.
And so we do. He likes Cheez-Its. He eats popcorn. He eats beef from Sean's Tacos.
Love.
Yep, we just give him whatever he wants.
Excellent.
Yep.
You know what I heard when I had the 3 kittens that we rescued from our backyard? The vet told me that male cats are more affectionate in general. It's not like a rule. It's not like no female cat is affectionate, but male cats, she said, are just more affectionate.
I think that's true. And I've had cats my whole life, and I will say, yeah, that's probably the case. Female cats tend to be a little more standoffish, but they usually have like their person, you know, that they are sweet and affectionate with. And that's how my cat, Sadie, the one that has passed away, she was like that. She really only liked me and like a handful of other people.
So are you saying that boy cats love everybody and a girl cat picks her person?
Kind of, yeah. In general, you know. But my cat, the white one, Aiden, he loves everyone, but he does not like to be held.
Okay.
He likes to be, he doesn't want to be on your lap or be held, but he will be right next to you, like up against your leg, and you can pet him. And he sleeps on Sean's pillow every night.
That's adorable.
It's so cute. It's so cute. And I also have a fish.
I want to hear about this giant fish.
I didn't know if you've never been to my house, so you probably haven't seen the fish, but he is a huge Aranda goldfish.
Okay.
They're the kind that have like the bumpy heads.
Okay.
And he's like the size of my head. He is like literally this big. He's giant.
And he's in a tank, not a pond,
And
right?
he's in a tank. It's a 75-gallon tank, and he's by himself, so he is
Okay, that
thriving.
sounds big to me. 75 gallons.
It's-
That's 75
it's big.
jugs of milk. That's really big.
Yeah, it's a pretty big tank. I mean, I've
that's
had goldfish
really
for a long
big.
time.
75 gallons of milk in my brain.
Yeah.
It's like, holy cow.
We didn't intend for him to be the only fish in that tank. Like, the thing was, he murdered all of his wives and his tank mates, and now he's just like the sole survivor fish.
He murdered all of his wives.
He murdered them. Like, I watched it happen. Like, he chased them around the tank, trying to hump them and mate with them until they stressed themselves to death.
Do that? I don't want to know.
I mean, I'll tell you, but
Yeah.
yeah, there's no humping. But
Okay.
it's like the fish will just chase each other. They
thought
spawned one time.
I only thought the Japanese fighting fish, the betta fish, did that. I didn't know any other fish did that.
That's one way that you can sex a fish to find out their gender is how they behave. You know, so the males will chase the females.
I had a friend in high school who had a piranha.
Cool.
It was a pet piranha. Yeah, and he fed that thing meat.
Yeah. Yeah, those fish are cool.
Wild.
Yeah. Well, this fish he's giant. I've had goldfish for a long time. It all started with when I was teaching elementary school. The kindergarten teachers used to do this unit where they would have these goldfish.
Yeah.
And they kept them in these crappy little tubs. And then at the end of the science unit, they just sent them to fishy heaven. And I was like, y'all are not going to do that. Like, I'll take them all.
What do you mean? They like just flushed them down the toilet?
Yeah.
They didn't say to the kids who wants to take a fish home?
I think they did, but like most of them, see that those goldfish, these kind of goldfish, they're called feeder fish, and they're the kind that you can like buy to feed to a bigger fish. Yeah, they actually can grow to be giant, and they need a pond to survive. So if they were to send them home with the kids, they would just die because who's going to have a pond big enough?
Yeah.
So I took them, and I was like, I'll figure it out. I'm going to I'm going to give them the best life I can at least. And I put them in a tank, and they lived a lot longer than they would have if they'd flushed them down the toilet. And after that, I kind of learned about goldfish, and now I'm a goldfish person. So yeah, fish are so fun once you understand the setup and all of that, and it's really fun to have fish, and they're beautiful. And like my husband wasn't a fish guy, but now he really cares about the fish, and he's like invested in the fish.
Cute.
And it's also fish are really good for anxiety because just watching them swim and chill, like it just calms you down and it just makes you slow down. Goldfish in particular are great because they kind of are like so dumb and they have little personalities, you know?
Oh, I had friends when I was young whose parents, I think multiple, maybe it was just one friend, but it seems like the aquarium room was always dark. Like it was, it just had an ambiance, you know?
Yeah, because fish don't have eyelids, so you have to be careful about the amount of light you expose them to.
Interesting. I did not
They get
know.
stressed if they have too much light on them. Well, think about it. If you just had a bright light shining in your face all the time, that would suck.
It would. And it does.
Well, anyway, tell me about your pets, Ivy.
So when I was growing up, we always had a pet or two, but my mom never liked them. And she was one of those people, one of those non-pet people who the pet always wanted to follow around the house and like insist that they're going to convince her to love them. And she was never mean to any of the animals, but she considered them animals. You know, like she draws a line where they're less than, you know.
Okay.
So we had poodles when I was little. We had Joe when I was real little. He was a little gray poodle. And when he died, I came home from school one day and I was like, why is Joe at the door? He's dead. And my mom was like, that's Susie. We went and got her at the pound.
Okay.
Hello, Susie. And I got a cat named Satcher. He was allowed inside sometimes, but mostly he was like one of those indoor-outdoor cats. I remember my mom calling me up. I had already moved out and he was still alive and he still lived with them. And she called me up and she was like, oh, I am so mad at your dad. Do you know what I just found out? He's never taken Satcher to the vet. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, he hasn't been to the vet in years. Like, he's got to go get shots and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And she was like,
if he's indoor-outdoor, that can be dangerous.
And he lived forever. So, I mean, obviously she was a little more responsible with the cat than my dad was. But my dad was like, well, I never thought of it. Also, I had Bird. So anyway, I had Stupid Simon. And when he died, my mom told me he died because I named him Stupid.
Your mom is interesting.
So then when I moved out, of course, Jody and I always had dogs. But we also had a pig.
Oh,
No.
I love pigs.
No. Well, I called her that whore Ginger. So,
well, maybe that was the problem.
Listen, I didn't call her that until she acted like a whore, okay? So my best friend, John, is a farmer. And, well, he's a cowboy, but he had a farm. And somebody gave him 2 pot-belly pigs, you know, the miniature kind that don't exist. And so he was like, oh, Jody wants a pig. You know, come over here. You can pick which one you want. There's a pink one and a black one. So we picked the pink one. And my husband was like, yes, a little baby pig, until the little baby pig wedged herself behind his stereo system. And then he built her a pen in the backyard. I cried once when I fed her ham by accident.
Oh, no.
Yeah, cried. Real tears.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
But then she got so big. And we had Lucy, the Great Dane at the time, and a couple of other dogs. My Great Dane was in charge. It was her yard. It was her house.
Makes sense.
When Ginger outgrew the pen, Jody was like, I'm just going to let her have reign of the yard, you know, because she's my pig. Well, Ginger decided to fight Lucy for the top dog position, and she lost. And so then Ginger decided that if she can't beat Lucy, she's going to beat Mommy.
Okay.
And she came after me. Katie?
She came after you?
Yeah, Katie, have you ever been bit by a pig?
No.
Yeah, me neither, because their nose gets there first,
Yeah.
and then they just snot you a whole lot when they're trying to bite you.
That's
So she
dumb.
would chase me around. She was the size of a house. This pig got so big. She would chase me around. We had an above-ground pool at the time that this happened. And it had a fence built around it and a deck because our kids were little. She chased me up onto that deck. I couldn't get back down. She's pacing in front of the deck. I'm screaming for my husband. I could hear him having a conversation on the front porch. Why he couldn't hear me screaming is beyond me. He wound up putting that pig in the back of the truck and taking her to John's that night because I couldn't go in my backyard. She hated me.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
I didn't know pigs could be so aggressive.
Well, I went to a petting farm of cows and pigs. If you've never cuddled a cow, I highly recommend.
Oh, yeah. Cows are so cute.
They're also therapeutic. They taught me this at the Rose Bridge Sanctuary Farm. But they also taught me that the way that you have to take care of a pig is very different from any other kind of pets. And I don't remember the details, so I'm not going to act like I know what I'm talking about. But they explained some things to me that made me go, oh, well, that's what was wrong with Ginger. Like if I had done this, and this, then Ginger could have been a great pet.
Yeah.
But we didn't. And so
you just don't know what you don't know sometimes.
She wound up, and also don't have farm animals for pets if you don't know or if you don't educate yourself.
Yeah. And if you don't have the space, like
we had the space. We have a giant backyard. She would have been fine. Yeah. But she did get, because she stayed at the farm when John left that farm that we took her to. She stayed behind because she got so big they couldn't move her.
Aww.
She was so big. And then my kids also had turtles and they had frogs.
Yeah.
We had aquariums. We would go and buy those glowy frogs at Aquatic Critter.
Yep.
I don't remember where the turtle came from. My mother-in-law probably picked it up off the street, which you are not supposed to do. Do not do that.
No. You're not supposed to do that.
You're also not supposed to turn them around.
Yeah, they're going to turn themselves back around. If you're going to pick up a turtle, just pick him up and put him the direction he's already going on the other side.
Well, that's what I mean.
Will turn
you're
around.
Not supposed to turn them.
Yeah.
They're headed in a certain direction.
Yeah, they're going where they're going. That's right. Well, now you have dogs.
Yeah.
And a Pickles.
Well, I have a dog, and then I have my kids' dogs when they travel.
So you only have Pickles as your only dog
Pickles
that's
is my
yours.
only dog. It's the only time in my married life that we've only had one dog. Because my dog, Speed Racer, he died actually 3 years ago this week because that's what my Facebook memories are telling me. And I had a white boxer named Zeke who was also the best dog.
Oh, that's cool.
We've had a lot of dogs, but there was some that stood out more than others. Yeah. And I think
that's how I feel about the cats I've had. So my grandma always had this thing she would say about you have to find a man who loves cats. Because to her, it was just a good sign that a man was gentle with animals, that he was like a secret softie or something. And she just always had cats as an adult because her husband loved cats. And so she would always tell me, you got to find a guy that loves cats.
So cats in particular.
Yes. And I had dated guys before that liked my cats because I had the two for most of my adult life. And they, they would tolerate them. They didn't mind them. But Sean actually really loves our animals, and he had his own cat when I met him. And I remember going to his house the first time and being like, why do you just have a random Amazon box in your floor? Like, are you just messy? And he was like, that belongs to my cat. Like, it's his favorite box. I'm not moving it. It's his. And I was like, oh, I see. So you're like, really love your cats. He is emotionally invested and he is so intuitive. He picks up on what the cats need. He spoils them. And that's allowed because they're, Aiden is 1,000,000 years old and he gets whatever he wants, right?
100%. I didn't mention Kitty. Kitty came here and just decided for herself that this is where she lived.
I had a cat like that too.
Yeah, she would just be on the front porch. And finally one day, Sonny was like, can she just come inside? And it was Jody who was like, yeah. And she lived forever.
Last night, I was taking a nice, relaxing bath, and I had a candle sitting on the bathroom counter, and Aiden jumped up on the counter to scream for water in the sink, and he lit his ass on fire. And he is fine. He was not harmed because he has such fluffy hair that it just singed a little bit of his tail. And Sean and I are like, what is that smell? Good God, that's disgusting. Oh my God, Aiden's fucking ass is burned. because his little tail, got too close to the candle because he's so fucking dumb. And that is actually the second cat that I've had that did that.
So I read somewhere that since 2020, there has been a massive surge in pet ownership, which I believe not surprised by. But it's also created some studies on how different generations and just different folks in general view pets and their relationships with them.
Interesting.
Yeah, while most generations still prefer dogs and cats, there was also a jump in birds and rabbits in the millennials and Gen Z. But Gen Z also increased their ownership of fish, lizards, and turtles.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah. I had a friend who had a giant, his boyfriend actually had, it was like a corner cabinet, and he had a giant yellow python. And there was a drawer that the python was in, but he could also go up into the enclosure. That was wild.
Pythons are cool. I almost, there was one point, because I have that 75-gallon tank, right? There was one point when all the fish had died, and I was considering, do I get more fish or do I maybe get a snake? And I was thinking about getting a ball python because they're just so neat, but I didn't want to have to feed them the frozen mice and stuff. I don't think I could do it
either.
I don't think I could do it. But respect for people that have snakes. I think snakes are cool. But I did learn in Florida that they have an invasive snake problem with Burmese pythons because people will get them as a pet and then they get enormous and they'll release them. And these pythons, they can go toe-to-toe with an alligator. They don't have toes, but they can wrestle an alligator, fully grown alligator, and it's anybody's game, So it's fucking up the ecosystem. So listeners, don't do that shit. Don't set your pet free.
No, people for 1,000 years have been releasing their pets into the wild because they are horrible.
Yeah.
It's just
you could have done that with Ginger, but you didn't.
No, Ginger.
You
went
sent
to
Ginger back to the farm.
Yeah, I mean, I've had to rehome other animals. They don't always work out. They don't always fit, especially when you have other animals that you have to protect.
Yes.
And so
that's what happened with one of my cats.
Well, that's one of the issues that I have with rescues. One of the many is that people who are so adamant about animals that don't really know what they're talking about because there is such a thing as not a good fit. There's such a thing as danger to your other animals.
Yeah.
And to your children. I had to rehome a poodle when Orion was a baby because she bit him. I tried to adopt from a neighbor another Great Dane, and she also tried to bite one of my children and had to go back.
Talking about the different generations and, all of that. I think that it's definitely has to do with the pandemic and people were seeking this companionship.
Oh, yeah.
And that just has to be
there was probably a lot of lonely people, too.
Yeah. I was really grateful that I had my animals during the pandemic because that would have just been so hard.
Me too. And all of the my coworker posts on social media were funny because everybody called their animal their coworker while they were working from home and all the.
Oh, man. Yeah. I had when I was teaching. So I was teaching during the pandemic, during lockdown, we had to teach online for part of it. And it was so stupid. But my cats loved it because I would have my desk set up with my little camera facing down on what I was painting because I was teaching art online. And my cat would just be like, this is mine now. And it's just all 30 of my students are just looking at my cat's fat ass just right in the middle of what they're trying to do. And I'm like, if I move her, she's going to bite me. So
that's a good day at school.
It was what it was. It was mostly teaching during the pandemic was pretending that we were doing something.
Right.
Because what could you do? It was crap.
So it says here on this list, it just occurred to me when I looked at this hamster guinea pig.
Yeah.
5% of Gen X and 6% of boomers have hamsters or guinea pigs. My dad brought home 2 hamsters. And my mom made them go live at his office because they stunk.
I had gerbils.
Oh, that's what they were. They weren't hamsters. They were gerbils.
So I had gerbils and they breed prolifically.
Uh-huh.
And so in order to keep them from constantly breeding, I had to put a partition in their cage and put the males on one side and the females on the other. But the male, the alpha male gerbil that I had, the girl gerbil was Pepper and the boy was Mr. Salty because they were black and white. And Mr. Salty had the biggest balls I've ever seen.
Yo.
Which that's why he was the alpha, I guess. And he jumped over the partition, squeezed his fat little ass over like the top of it between the lid and the partition, and went over to the other side and fucked all the females. He also got out of the cage at one point, and I woke up in the middle of the night to my mom crawling around my bedroom floor, calling his name like he was a dog. Like he would come to her. She's crawling around going, Mr. Salty, come here. Come on. I'm like, Mom, he's like basically a rat. He's not going to come to you. Well, my bestie Josh, in college, he had a rat that he really bonded with this rat. And rats are surprisingly smart.
I've heard that. I've also heard they're good pets.
Yeah. He was a great pet. And so this rat, he would actually like he would wear a hoodie and he would put the rat in the hood and it would just chill there all day. And he would just go to class with his rat.
I'm always jealous of people whose pets will stay like on their shoulder or in their...
Yeah.
Yeah, like what?
So I guess that rat could have been an emotional support rat.
Yeah.
That would have been a good one.
Every year that we go to Florida, there's this store that has these giant cages with big birds out there, and I'm always excited to go visit Romeo. He's my favorite. I tried to get him to sing my new favorite song. It goes like this: everyone who voted for Donald Trump sucks, except for my mom and dad. John made me stop singing it at the beach, but anyway, I love Romeo, and I try to get him to sing with me. And
what kind of bird is he?
He's like a parrot, one of those.
Okay. We had a parrot growing up, too. I have parrot stories.
They live for fucking ever.
Yep. This bird, I swear to God, this bird is still out there somewhere being a menace. Oh. But this bird, okay, so my dad was a sailboat guy. He had a sailboat store, so he needed a parrot, right? Because he's a sailor.
Okay.
So he had a few different parrots, but he did the thing where you buy a baby parrot, you buy an egg. And you bond with the bird as soon as it hatches.
Wow.
So he would go to the store and like bond with it. Yeah, talking about relationships, right? So he built a relationship with this baby bird from the moment it was born. It like imprinted on him.
I want to
do
that.
It was cool. And the bird hated everyone but my dad.
Okay.
And he would bite. And he was a menace. Like he would just scream constantly. And he would scream in this like operatic way and just scream the same like thing over and over. Yeah, absolutely not. He also would get on your shoulder and then he would like put his gross little tongue right on your ear and he would like taste your ear with his little tongue and then he would just bite the shit out of you. And it fucking sucked. He would either bite the shit out of you or he would be sitting on your shoulder and he would whisper in your ear. He'd be like, I swear to God, he would go up in your ear and he'd be like, bitch.
I love that though. So
he'd just get in your ear. He would say dirty words. Shit. Just right in your ear.
Great.
Like he knew. He was so weird. His name was Skipper.
Yes, it was. His name was Skipper.
He was a yellow naped Amazon parrot. So he was like a green bird. He was kind of like, the size of like a big crow.
I love that. Well, that's what Romeo is,
still
the
out there
size
somewhere.
of a big crow.
This bird, he learned to mimic me. And so he would do my voice and he would scream, Mom! And my mom would be like, what? And it's the bird. And then he would do my mom too. He'd be like, Katie? And I'd be like, what? And it's the bird. Like, it was crazy.
OMG, that is wild.
Yeah, he was a nut.
Ugh.
If there is this uptick from the pandemic, it also has to do with the way that a lot of millennials and Gen Z are still living at home, I think.
Yeah.
And it's just like financially not feasible for them to go own a house. And so owning something that they feel like is just theirs, could be a dog.
Well, I think
could be
also
a pet, could
a
be
lot
a
of
lizard.
them wanted something to take care of
Yeah, it makes you feel more responsible if you can take care of another creature like that. Because a lot of them are not having kids, which is the other thing.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
That's very true for Gen Z. In my research, I found that the total number of pets owned in the U.S. Percentage-wise from the different generations, Gen Z looks like they own the least amount of animals. Millennials, the most. Gen X comes in right under baby boomers, which surprises me.
What would you have expected?
I don't know. I would have expected baby boomers to be less. I personally feel like with each generation, animals have become more part of a family and less an animal. I thought the older
I think that's fair to say.
generations, I think, were less likely to consider a pet a family member. So I read this research from Talker Research where they surveyed 2,000 employed cat and dog owners, split evenly by generation. So 500 Gen Z, 500 Millennial, 500 Gen X, and 500 Baby Boomers. The survey was commissioned by Vetster and administered and conducted online between April 17th and April 22nd of this year, 2025. So it looks like each generation gets more and more quote unquote obsessed with their pets. Like I was saying, you never saw a boomer say, I'm a dog mom. Or this is my fur baby, which I can't stand. It's very popular. It's just one of those things. In the article called Paw Rental Differences, How Each Generation Views Their Pets, it says that half of Gen Z Americans consider their pet their children, but the older generations see them as companions or even just pets.
I feel like if I had actual children, I probably wouldn't see my cat as my child.
Correct.
You know?
Yes.
But I don't, so he's as close as I'm going to
Yes.
get. And I think that the not having kids thing has definitely affected this. That a lot of, I don't know any of my millennial friends, maybe like one or two of my whole friend scope are looking to have children. Like everyone else I know is like, hell no.
Wow.
And I think that's kind of weird, but I mean, I get it. Like, it's coming from, we don't feel financially stable. We can't own a home. Why would we have a kid? You know?
Yeah.
And just also like the world is pretty fucked up right now. So it's hard to justify that if you are concerned about that, you know, but like, I think it's fine. I don't think as a human race that we need to put pressure on ourselves that everyone has to have kids. Like we don't.
No, we don't. But
It's
also
fine.
young people make decisions that they do change their minds later on. And you said most of your friends were young people. And also a lot of people wait until they're in their 30s now to have children.
Well, you know, if you change your mind, you can adopt. That's fine.
Or you
That's
can
allowed.
change your mind and have
And
kids.
you can just change your mind.
Yeah, you can change your mind.
Totally.
Changing your mind
Totally.
is okay.
Yep. Regardless if they call them their fur baby or their baby or their dog or whatever, or what generation they land in, nearly all pet owners want to take good care of their furry family members. On average, Gen X and Gen Z in this country would spend around $6,000 to save their pet's life, which is a lot of money, considering that most of my millennial friends have never had that much money in savings.
Neptune's surgery was almost $8,000 when he ate the cat toy.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't spent that much on my cat, but I don't know. If I had the money and it was like, fine, I might, but I don't know. I can't really imagine.
Well, it was
that
a devastating blow for my son. It was only $7,000. When they tell you it could be 15 and it's seven and a half, that's great.
When asked what length you would go to save your pet's life, 40 to 45% of Gen Zers would ask for money or start a GoFundMe, while 24% would consider selling an organ, which is crazy. And how do you even do that?
The black market, I guess, because I don't think you can just sell an organ.
If you have the capability to go on the dark web and set that shit up to save your animal, that's your business, I guess.
These pesky Gen Zers, I swear to God, they got the ideas. They're gonna sell a kidney.
I mean, look. Yeah, I don't think I would have done that. Like, at a certain point, and I'm thinking about Sadie, my cat that was like my soul cat, the little one with the 3 feet, okay? She saved me from a lot of bad shit. And when she got to the end of her life, she was in pain. And I could not stand to let her live another day in pain.
Yes.
And that's how I felt. And there was just nothing else that the vet could do. And when we reached that point, I was like, okay, it's time, you know? And it was heartbreaking and horrible. And I felt like shit about it. But when I think about it now, the fact that I chose not to let her live another day in pain, that had to have been the best choice.
There are a lot of people out there who don't make that choice because they're selfish assholes. And so you did the right thing.
I agree. And she, that little girl, she fought till the very end, the very last second. She was like, no, you're not going to put me on this table, you know? And she would have kept fighting through the pain. And I just didn't want that for her.
Yeah. Our pet's family. Are you a dog mom or do you have a fur kid? While Gen Z is...
That's kind of dorky, but
it's pretty dorky. While Gen Z is decidedly the generation who considers their pets to be more on the human level, millennials are more than twice as likely to buy them things like beds and clothing.
Well, yeah.
42,
it's cute.
42%. Millennials do like cute.
Yeah.
42% of the 2,000 people surveyed do not have children, and 3/4 of those polled say their parents are perfectly content with not having human grandchildren. And it also said that they babysit, they spend time with their grandpets. I do. I do that.
Yeah, you do. My mom calls them her grandkitties.
Oh.
But I don't know that she's totally happy that I don't have kids. Like, she probably would have liked for me to have kids, but I'm like, Mom, I got married when I was 37. Like, let's just chill.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. I'm not going to force that, you know?
You know, Madonna had a baby at your age.
Madonna's also rich.
Anyway.
And can have people do things for her that I cannot.
Right. Well, 58% of all of them, they would love to take their pet on vacation with them if they could, and 1/4 of them take their pet to work.
That's cool.
I like it.
I like it too.
I don't have any problem with it.
I had dreams all the time that I took my cats to work when I was teaching, and they would have hated it. That's the thing. My cats would have hated being in an environment with all these little kids running around. It just wouldn't have worked. But like if I had a bodega or something and I wanted my cat to hang out with me, sure.
I took Neptune to work with me for the first couple weeks after his surgery. Because Sonny had to leave town, and he had that giant cone on his head because he's a giant
the cone
dog.
of shame.
Yeah. And I had a bed in the corner, and he would just sleep, and people would come in and visit with him. They loved it.
Anyway.
Do you have insurance for your pets, Katie?
I do not currently, but I have had it before, and it was helpful.
Did you find value in it?
Yes, I did. That was during the time that I had 3 cats, though, and one of them was the stupid cat that decided I was hers and jumped in my car, and she was dumb as a rock. Like, she lit her tail on fire. She stuck her head in a glass, like a drinking glass, and broke it off of her face, like head banged her face into the table and broke it. She got stuck in trees. You know, she was just stupid as fuck. And so having the health insurance for her turned out to be good because she was always eating dumb shit and getting sick, you know?
Well, I was always, when I was younger and pet insurance first came to be, my vet always was like, you know, you don't really need it. My friends in New York have pet insurance, and it has helped them a lot. Like, because I know Sonny signed up for some plan at Banfield, and
that's what I had.
Well, not only did it turn out to not be worth it, it helped none at all with his surgery, but also they sent him to collections when he canceled it because they didn't cancel it. And he had to jump through all these hoops to get it taken off of his...
See, they're a corporate bullshit thing. That's
I'm
the
not
problem.
really a big fan. But so there's this article in Consumer Affairs that I read or that I looked at. It has a lot of pictures, a lot of graphs, a lot of charts.
Good. Maybe I'll look at it.
And it is from this year. It is from February of this year. And some of the key insights here are there were 4.8 million pets insured in this country at the end of 2022. dogs being 80.1% and cats at 19.9%. So nobody's insuring their turtle, I guess. The average monthly insurance for premium for pet insurance for accident and illness is $53.34 for dogs and $32.25 for cats. Now, the plan that some people have also includes their vaccinations.
Yeah. And when it turned out that my cat needed some surgery or whatever and it was covered, like, great. That was awesome. So going forward, like, when we get more cats one day, we'll probably do the pet insurance, but just through our vet.
I've got this link in here. There's a whole list of what's you can compare. But I didn't want to put in my information because I didn't want to get a bunch of emails trying to sell me something.
Fair enough.
So if we move to Wyoming, we will have the lowest pet insurance premium. And if we move to California, it'll be the highest.
Well, that tracks.
The basic monthly cost for care for a dog, just not medical care, but just basic monthly cost for care for a dog is $123. And for a cat, it's $75.
Okay.
And the most common issues treated are skin-related issues, urinary tract infections. Urinary tract is for cats. Skin-related is for dogs.
Yeah, makes sense.
So by generation, the silent generation, surprise, surprise, only 2% of them bother to have insurance for their pets. Millennials.
That's for weaklings.
Millennials are the most. Millennials do the most. They are the most. 33%.
Yeah. We do the most.
We do. Gen X, 25%, because we can't be bothered. Baby boomers, 24%, because they want to be just like us. And Gen Z, 16%, because they haven't got the money yet.
Right. That's the thing. The Gen Z is like, they're just fucking struggling. They're still on their parents' health insurance. Like, babies, guys, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
Mom, can you put my dog on your insurance?
My mom probably would have if I was still living with her at that time. Yeah, she would have. Okay. I had a small dog growing up. He was an Italian Greyhound.
Ooh.
He was also dumb as a brick because he was a purebred dog. He slept in the bed with us, but he was small. He was, not a huge dog. Big dogs in the bed bothers me because, I need to have my space. And I also don't want fur all in my bed, but I have this cat, so I have fur all in my bed.
I don't. My husband tried the no dogs in the bed thing. That didn't work out for him. And I have tried, I would love it. I would love it if my husband would go on a trip with his friends, but he never leaves. I would love for Neptune to take a nap with me on the bed, but he'll get up there and jump right back down. And Zeke would get up in the bed with me and sleep. Speed slept with me every night. Pickles sleeps with me every night, but I think I told you recently that he's been whining because he can't jump up onto the bed.
Yeah, because he's an old man.
And so now I have discovered he'll walk up to the bed and he'll start whining, and I'll just wiggle my fingers off the side of the bed, and poof, he gets up on the bed.
He just wants to know that you're there, so he doesn't make the effort if you're not there, I guess. Yeah.
Did you have, when you were a kid, do you remember Past Pets, the mall pet store?
I remember pet stores in the mall, but not that one specifically.
Okay. That's the only one I ever heard
But yeah,
of.
they were pretty sad.
Yeah, I still, it to me, I called it lore in this because it's was that real? Was that real? Because people...
Oh, I thought you just misspelled it, and so I typed your.
No. That was fucking lore.
Did you dream that?
How could that have been real? They sold actual living animals, like kittens and puppies. They would be in the window. You would walk by, how much is that doggy in the window?
Yeah.
Real. That's real, people. There were stores where they had puppies and kittens and rabbits and gerbils, and they still have rabbits and gerbils in PetSmart and stuff like that. But
yeah. Well, they still have cats and dogs if they're doing their adoption.
Those are adoption. Those are not.
But those are from the shelter.
Kittens that live there when everybody goes home, and then there's just these dogs and cats in cages overnight, and then the next day they come to work, and people come in and they buy them or they don't, and I still can't wrap my brain around that having been a thing. They're on display.
Uncool. But big box pet stores are still not necessarily great.
I agree.
I've noticed that it depends on the employees. Because some of the employees that work at like PetSmart, Petco, whatever, are great and they really love it and they want to do their best to educate people. But other ones don't give a single fuck.
Right.
You know?
It's just a job.
Like I have seen, we were talking earlier about the betta fish and how they're just in those little cups, right? They're not supposed to live in that cup their whole life, guys. And sometimes they don't explain that to you when you buy it. They don't explain to you that if you want a goldfish, it cannot live in a bowl. You need a filter. You need a bigger tank than you think. A goldfish needs at least like 20 gallons per fish to really be healthy and grow and thrive.
They will straight
and
up tell you at the pet store that you don't need a filter for a goldfish and sell you that bowl.
Yeah. And it's dumb because if they were to just tell you, you'd probably spend more money and buy the filter. But they don't care because they're not paid enough, to care.
Well, they're
so just
kids
listeners, just be careful. Yeah, just be careful buying animals at big box stores and make sure that you're talking to someone that knows what they're talking about and or just do your own research beforehand.
Yeah, and also those little critters that they still sell there, you got to check and see if your regular dog cat vet will even see those kind of animals because
True.
Yeah, I mean, there are specialty vets. There are exotic animal vets. There are large animal vets. John has all those horses. He gave Sonny one for his third birthday, so Sonny had a horse. And luckily for us, he lived with John, and John took care of him. But, that you...
I always wanted a horse growing up. That was like the thing I wanted that my parents were just like, that's just not in our realm of being able to afford, baby girl, I did go to horse camp and stuff and get to ride horses there. But I went to horse camp at one point, and then at this camp, they made you clean the horse afterwards. And I was like, never mind. I don't want this. I'm not scraping horse shit out of his feet. That's for you to do. Yeah, so I was like, guess I don't want a horse anymore. But I do love horses. Great. I just don't have the bandwidth to take care of one myself.
Great. So what about the animals, that you see with their little vests and their, it's a whole scam also because you can buy those and
you can buy the vest or
you can buy a vest online that just says that you have
says service animal.
Yeah, and it's against the law for anyone to ask you to prove it.
Oh.
Now, you do have to prove it when you go on airplanes or when you rent a place. But as far as just being out, if you want to walk into a restaurant that doesn't.
Well, yeah, I can understand. Prove to me that you have a disability is fucked up. You shouldn't be able to ask someone that.
You can't do that.
Right.
But you can when it's necessary. So,
on a plane,
So there's 3 kinds of certificates that you can get for your pets. There's an emotional support animal, which you can just buy that on the internet too. I did that happened to me when I was renting that property for Miss Harris. A girl moved her dog in. Another girl moved her dog in. One of the dogs
when they weren't supposed to have animals.
And the handyman,
but they claimed they were emotional support animals.
One of them sent me an obviously purchased off the internet thing about it, and my lawyer said we can't kick that dog out. The other dog we kicked out. It ruined the floor. We had to have the antique hardwood floors replaced. Kicked them out. But then I didn't know that there's 2 types of trained service animals. Psychiatric service dog and a regular trained service animal. And a psychiatric service dog, I found this fascinating. Like if you're about to have a seizure or if you're about to have an anxiety attack, that dog knows what to do. Like puts its paw on you, knows what to do. I find that beautiful.
It's so cool. Yes. Have you ever seen the videos of like that happening where the dog senses someone's going to have a seizure before they do?
They are trained for that.
Animals are amazing.
Yeah.
I have mad respect for people that train service animals and stuff. Like, I don't think I would ever have the patience, but it's so important and such a cool thing.
Well, and also there are people who get mad because they're not allowed to pet the service dogs.
And they act
like well, that dog deserves attention and love. That dog gets attention and love. That dog is a pet.
Yes.
That dog,
No
the
kidding.
person who that dog cares for loves that dog and takes care of that dog.
Absolutely.
And yes, pets and plays with that dog. Just because you are not allowed to when you see the dog at Kmart.
Get over
Is
yourself,
there still a
people.
Kmart, or did I just age myself?
It ain't. Kmart. Yeah. Service dogs are allowed on airplanes and other public transport. However, each airline has its own rules regarding service dogs. Most require that the dog sits on the traveler's lap or at their feet, and dogs cannot block the aisle or sit in the emergency exit row, which makes total sense. Service dogs are exempt from the pet fees that airlines charge, so also good. Great. Well done, airlines.
And emotional support animals no longer fall under that category for airlines. They do have to pay. You do have to pay to take your emergency.
Okay.
And I blame all the people who fake it on that.
Yeah.
Because there are people who actually need it. And it's kind of like, everybody has to suffer because one person.
Yeah. I mean, as a person with pretty intense anxiety, and I'm married to a person with very intense anxiety about flying specifically. If we could take our cat with us on the plane and it would help him, I would absolutely do it.
You just have to pay.
But I don't think our cat would tolerate that. Like, he would not, the cat would freak out. Like, you have to have the animal prepared for that. You can't just take your cat for whatever reason, So,
yeah, Pickles wouldn't do well on the plane either. Pickles would be barking at everyone.
Pickles is just struggling with his existence, man. He is just...
Well, so Katie, here's something fun.
Yeah.
I'm sure that we've all seen the wild stories of folks taking their emotional support pets on animals, right?
Well, I wrote in the outline, have we? I don't know, Ivy. I think we're on different internets sometimes.
We have a very different
you're all the time you're like, everybody knows this. And I'm like, bitch, what are you talking about?
Okay, so I've seen stories of wild and crazy animals that are taken on an airplane. Okay,
so I wasn't aware this was a thing.
I have a list here, Katie.
Okay.
It's the 10 weirdest animals that have been allowed on airplanes, all right?
I have no idea.
One of these 10 that I'm going to tell you about was attempted to take on the airplane and was turned away. And this person rented a car and drove across the country with this animal because they would not let her take it on the plane. So here's the 10. Number 1, snakes. Number 2, pet tarantulas, which I love. Number 3, a turkey. Number 4, a miniature horse.
I hope that horse got on the plane.
Number 5, a duck. Number 6, a peacock. Number 7, a pig. Number 8, penguins. Now, I have to tell you, the penguins were not an emotional support animal. They were being taken on the plane for a movie, I believe it said, but people got to hang out and play with the penguins, and they really enjoyed it.
Amazing. That sounds like the best flight
ever.
ever.
The one that stands out in my mind for the strange emotional support animals on planes is the kangaroo.
Yeah, that's
which
weird.
Apparently happens.
Don't kangaroos like punch you and kick
mean.
you, and they can be really aggressive?
They're mean. I don't even. Are there miniature kangaroos? Because they also get really big. And number 10.
Well, they're smaller marsupials like wallabies and shit, right?
Yeah. Number 10 is the monkey. Okay. And now I'm going to bring up the article real quick because I want to tell you that Marcel, this guy named Jason Ellis, okay. Maybe I named the monkey Marcel because it doesn't say it here. But anyway.
Because friends.
Jason
because
Ellis.
Ross's monkey.
Jason Ellis flies with his emotional support marmoset monkey. He can no longer fly on Frontier Airline because he forgot to provide the paperwork and identification for his primate prior to the flight. But he does often fly with his monkey. So, Katie, which one of these animals do you think they did not allow on the plane? They said, no, you drive across the country.
Well, they made a whole movie about the snakes on the plane. And I can't believe I didn't interrupt you with that reference. But
the article referenced that also. They said, no, it was not Samuel L. Jackson.
Motherfucking snakes.
That took the snakes on the plane.
All right. I know that turkeys are rude and aggressive.
They are.
I know that peacocks are rude and aggressive and loud. A miniature horse, I feel like, would be an amazing support animal.
Oh, my God. Yes.
because they're so, like
Yes.
horses are so smart. Lil Sebastian would be a great support animal. I think it's probably, I'm going to go with peacock.
You are right. That's a first.
For the first time.
Yes. So the peacock was denied access to a flight on Southwest. We are still not sure, it says in the article, if we are relieved or upset about that. The bird was undeniably cool.
Yeah.
The woman who was repeatedly told that she could not fly with her peacock was denied access to the flight, and she eventually drove it across the country.
Whatever, lady, do you?
Miniature horses, it says that the horses might release a few whinnies here and there.
Yes.
But you can bet they won't go sprinting down the aisle after someone else's support cat.
No. Oh my God. I love miniature
I
horses.
do too. John has two. Well, I don't know if they're both still
Oh.
alive. They were Dookie and Poppy. Anyway.
I just think of Lil Sebastian.
Jody wants a miniature donkey. I would take that.
Yeah. I love donkeys too. Sean and I have decided that once we get our dream home and we have some land, we're going to get a donkey and name it Sleepy Joe.
Yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, let's do the vocab word of the week.
All right, here we go. Vocab word of the week. This is not that crazy of a vocab word,
Okay.
but I struggled to find one that was relevant. The vocab word of the week is mutualism,
Okay.
as in we have a mutual benefit, right? Mutualism is the doctrine or practice of mutual dependence as the condition of individual and social welfare. Or, 2, mutually beneficial association between different kinds of organisms. So this is like that, the bird that lives on the back of the rhinoceros and eats the bugs off the back of the rhinoceros. That's mutualism. So I think that it's, kind of describing this emotional support thing and support animals thing where there is a mutual benefit because the dog has a home, but the dog is also helping the person in innumerable ways. So, yeah, mutualism.
Mutualism is what we have with our pets.
Yes, it is. If you have a good relationship, beneficial association between different kinds of organisms. It also has some kind of connotation with economics, but I was like, boring.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about economics. Gah.
That's for dorks.
Gah.
All right. Well, that's all I got for this week. So much fun talking about animals with you. I'm an animal lover. I love animals.
Me too. And I kept forgetting about all of my pets. I kept having to be like, oh, but wait, there was Setcher. Oh, but wait.
I didn't list all of them I've had because,
I didn't either. It would have taken all fucking day.
A zillion cats.
We had so many.
But yeah, the interesting ones were the bird and the gerbils. And yeah, I did have one cat that we raised from a kitten because it was my grandmother's cat, had kittens, and we raised him. He was the sweetest boy ever. His name was Tinker, and he liked to sleep in my Barbie house.
Oh.
And then he got to be a big boy, and he squeezed his fat ass into the Barbie house and was like, I still fits. So we have pictures of him as a baby in the Barbie house. He's precious. So... But yeah, I think it's important to just consider the relationships with animals and how many romantic relationship partners have failed because the animal, somebody's pet didn't get along with them. Yeah, exactly.
I see those Reddit stories all the time about people coming over and being like, oh, well, you need to put your dog in another room when I come over. Or you don't
this is my
let
house.
your dog on the couch when I'm here. And I'm like,
get over it.
It's his couch.
Yeah. The thing, I do have a concern sometimes if I have friends coming over that I know are allergic to cats.
Well, sure. There's such
because
a
our
thing
cat
as
has a
being
lot of hair.
Considerate. I lock
Yes.
Pickles up when my granddaughter comes over because I don't want him to bite her.
Yeah, because he sounds like an asshole.
Because he is an asshole. The vet diagnosed him.
The vet said, this dog has asshole-itis.
Yes, he did. He said, your dog is an asshole. And that's why that dog attacked him.
Wow. Hearing it come from your vet is another level.
I said the word asshole because he was trying to him and haw and be all
He was being diplomatic.
He was being all, professional and stuff. And I was like, are you telling me?
What's the professional word for asshole?
It's asshole. he just couldn't say it because he doesn't talk like that. But I could say it for
our
him
vet would have said
because my dog got attacked viciously
Yeah.
for no reason while I was walking him on a leash. Dog came out of nowhere, bit his ass, and I had to have surgery. And I
Damn.
said, "What?" I said, "What the fuck? I had 2 dogs with me." And he said, "Yeah, he didn't like your dog's attitude." And I said, "Are you telling me my
Yeah.
dog's an asshole?" And he said, "Yeah."
Pickles just has asshole energy,
Exactly.
I guess. He just has he has an asshole aura,
Yes, he does have an asshole.
as the
aura.
Gen Zers would say. Negative 1 million aura points. All right. And be sure to join us next time on Toxic Waste of Time when we will be discussing parasocial relationships. These are the type of relationships that we tend to have with people we only know from their Instagram, celebrities, artists, musicians, all of those kinds of things. Movie stars, too. Yeah. So, please join us for that. It's going to be eye-opening and super informative and also probably kind of stupid at some points. We hope that you enjoyed our episode this week. Thank you for joining us. Do you think that this was a toxic waste of your time? I mean, if so, you should tell us. In fact, if you have anything else you want to tell us, you can email us at contact@toxicwasteoftime.com. So, thanks again. Hope you had fun. Bye. See you next time.